Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game Mess. So today I got a very interesting video for you guys today because I am playing a recently released PC port of Super Smash Bros. For the N64 going over to the PC side of things, and this is based upon the Super Smash Bros. Decomp that I just recently talked about on the channel, telling you guys it was almost 100% decompiled. And when this GitHub repository went live, I will tell you right now, I got like 18 different messages from 18 different people across Twitter and Discord asking if I had seen this news. Now, honestly, this video is going to be with a very big caveat or asterisk on it, and I'll explain in just a moment, but it's one of those things. If I don't cover it, it seems weird, and it's one of those things that people know me for talking about PC ports and decomps, so it definitely is something I'm going to show on the channel and let you guys decide whether or not it's something you're into. Before I get too far involved though, do me a huge favor down below, hit like and subscribe and hit that notification bell, definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined and want to support the channel, got a Patreon link down below as well. But this is done by a user named JRickey, and they are very clear and upfront on the GitHub repo. They have basically automated the entire process of porting Smash Bros. Over to PC. And even though it is a fork of something named Harbor Masters are not involved in this port in any way, shape, or form, so I want to be clear about that right off the top. Although people in the Harbor Masters Discord have been kind of receptive to this overall process. Now here is the reality of the situation. A lot of people want a Smash Bros. PC port, and it is available today. Some people do not like when automation is used to be able to build these things. Now I am leaving it up to you to decide how you feel about that. I am delivering the news here, and I've always been very clear in videos when it comes to LLMs and other Gen AI usage. I do not want to see it in mainstream retail video games. I do not want to see it in the arts and filmmaking, photography, or anywhere else, in fact. But it's one of those things when it is a free fan project and somebody is just seeing what they can do, there really isn't anyone to quote-unquote be harmed by. So just remember, if you don't like this, you're more than welcome to say you don't in the comments, but don't shoot the messenger on this one because I am just giving you guys the news. Because for everyone who doesn't want to play it, there's going to be somebody out there that does play it. And the reality situation is this is going to be happening more and more as we go on with recomps, decomps, and PC ports. So basically turning a complete blind eye and pretending it doesn't exist to me would be even weirder than kind of talking about it head on. But I will say, in my experience playing around with this, and again, not an expert Smash player, and it's been out for all of about 4 hours at this point in time, it does work as a PC port. The frame rate is absolutely fast and fluid. You're basically getting a persistent 60 frame per second experience here, better than what you would get on the N64, even via emulation. And it is one of those things, as far as sitting down and playing Smash Bros. On your PC as a native port, that is, as of today, something that is possible. Does that mean that other groups aren't going to go and port this? I'm sure they are. We see that a lot on the N64 side of things. You'll have static recomps and PC ports, even multiple PC ports in fact of some of these games. So I'm sure other groups will go out there and basically use the decompiled code to make their own version of Smash. Could this be something that is beneficial for the community as a head start? It absolutely could be, but we again have to just wait and see what's going to happen with a port like this. But as far as the function of it, the controls, the latency, the graphics, audio, and everything else, it seems to just be doing exactly what it needs to do to be a Super Smash Bros. PC port. And that definitely is a very interesting thing, because I know people have been very hyped about the idea of being able to get something like this in the future, and that future with that asterisk is going to be today. And again, there's other projects that have employed a very similar strategy, and even some of your favorite PC ports or recomps have used a little bit of AI in the mix to basically speed up some work that is otherwise what I would consider Charlie work. If that doesn't sound familiar, go look up It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Charlie work is work that no one really wants to do because it is just grunt work, and even if you can do it, it isn't really that satisfying. But again, the developer has been very upfront about this one, saying it is an experiment, something to play around with, and they're trying to learn something in the background because it seems like their development process basically uses Python code and they're not very familiar with C whatsoever, which is totally a fair thing because again, it's not like money is changing hands here. You're just playing Smash Bros. On your PC. Let's go into the first soundtrack sample and I'll be right back with a lot more about this one.
Three, two, one, go!
Now that basically sounds like Smash Brothers to me. Maybe some of the sound effects are ever so slightly hot, but again, I like to say on the channel, I have two tin ears. I'm a very visual person. I'm a filmmaker and director of cinematography for a living, and when it comes to audio, that's something that I basically just say, go ask the audio department. That's why they practiced in that particular field, and that's why they should be actually checked in on, because I know basically nothing about audio when it comes to anything like this. So if you hear something you don't like, leave me a comment down below. But I will say graphically as well, this just seems to be rendering everything the way it needs to. There is a tiny bit of overdraw on the left and right hand side of the screen, but that could be how I basically bounding box the actual executable, because at this point in time it is just 4x3. You can get it to run in 16:9, but it does have some issues at the left and right hand side of the screen. But honestly, a lot of different N64 PC ports and recomps still have issues with 16:9 until they get finished up. Because just recently I was talking about Duke Nukem 0 Hour and the overclock mod, and that is still a recomp where 16:9 support can definitely be finicky and not quite work whatsoever. And it's one of those things I could have basically masked out with cropping in DaVinci Resolve to kind of hide that from you. Not that I'd really be hiding anything, but I want you guys to see the experience I got. That way when you're playing around with it, you will have that expectation in mind that it might be a situation. You can definitely do full controller binds as well. There's going to be an option for that, but I will say right off the top, my Xbox Series X controller bound automatically exactly how I would expect it to if I was sitting down to do it myself. And the number one takeaway of this is just how smooth this experience truly is as far as an actual PC port. In my time playing with it, of course that is limited because it just basically came out today. I didn't have any crashes, I didn't have any hangs, it just basically played like Smash Brothers, and that is what you would want to see out of a PC port, whether it's made 100% by hand or made 100% not by hand. And again, I can't stress enough, I'm totally cool with you deciding how you feel about this one. The only thing I ask, and it's probably foolish because no one ever listens to me, is don't blame me for these sort of developments. I am here to deliver the news and tell you what's happening in the decomp, recomp, and PC port scene, whether that's good, bad, or somewhere in between. And on this one, that is for each and every person out there to decide how they feel about it. So just try to keep in mind, I didn't make this thing. I am just providing you guys the news, because if I didn't talk about it whatsoever, someone's also going to think that is very strange of me. But I will say this could be a good basis or foundation for other people to go in, do more coding by hand, and kind of figure out how to make Smash Brothers on PC an all-encompassing sort of situation. Because I would love to see a future in some sort of PC port where you have stuff like the actual remix for Smash Brothers included, online net play, and a ton of other features. Because honestly, that's basically what everyone wants, because Nintendo still hasn't given us much news about a new Smash Brothers on Switch 2. So in the meantime, we have stuff like this to kind of occupy our time. And I like to say this is why retro gaming is making a comeback on the channel recently. There's so many of these projects, and you're going to see more and more of them come out with a ton of different development philosophies behind them. Let's do one more soundtrack sample just so you guys can get a better sense of what the game sounds like, and you can decide if it sounds correct or not to your ear. And I'll be right back with a little bit more information and talk a bit more about this port. So yeah, if you want to play Super Smash Brothers today on your PC, you can totally do that. The GitHub link is in the description down below, and it's for each and every one of you to decide if this is something you want to play or not. Because the reality situation is no one really is losing out if they play it. No one really is losing out if they don't play it. It's all just options and choices. And if you know me and the channel, you know I advocate for each and every person to make whatever choice they feel is right for themselves. But for me personally, the wrong choice would be pretending something doesn't exist just because it was developed in a method that could be potentially a little bit irritating to some people. I try to play things fair here, basically talk about the current goings on in the recomp and PC port communities, not only on the Nintendo 64 side of things, but everything else. So Smash Brothers has a PC port today that you can play, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.